Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. It's a smallish week for me, but some good stuff in here, and please ignore the sound of my voice. I am slightly sick, but surprisingly feeling better despite how terrible I sound. Now, I don't know what order these are in, so we're both going to be surprised, but we're going to start with Little Monsters this week, and since the last issue, the previews for, I think, April have come out. May? Whatever it is. In any event, I've discovered that Little Monsters is ending with issue 13, which I am disappointed to learn, because I thought this book was going to run for a long time, sort of on the par with Descender, Ascender. The first arc I thought was decompressed, and now suddenly it's ending with essentially the second arc, and I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around that. I wonder if something happened with one of the creators, or if that was just the intention all along. But this has plenty of information. There's a lot to chew on here. We get some mysteries solved, and it's just really, really great. Highly recommend it. Again, Lemire, Nguyen, I love this creative team. I hope, because this is ending, that they're moving on to something else, but I, at this point, have no idea. Next up, we have Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo, Part 4. I think this was part 7-part story. And the Silvestri is still doing the art, so it still looks, I think, phenomenal. I do find this cover amusing. Like, the posing is fantastic. I like the giant head here. It looks Capullo-esque. His architecture is top-notch, and this zipper eye mask is still creepy as hell. But, oh, I just noticed he's got a rope, too. That's phenomenal. I do find it funny, the oversized thigh right there. But anyway, we get a flashback. Somewhat of an origin story for the villain of the series. There's also this side story happening with Harley that hasn't really gone anywhere for a couple of issues, but events seem to be not quite unfolding, but they're finally moving again. Maybe we'll get more on that next issue. But the main thrust of this, besides being a flashback origin story, is there is a train. So the villain here, he's sort of hired Joker, or he pressured Joker into working for him, and then because it's Joker, Batman involves himself. That didn't pan out so well a couple of issues ago. But this issue, the two of them, so they're now working in concert. There is a train on its way to Gotham, and it's currently full of a bunch of people, and it needs to weigh the same as if it were empty by the time it hits a certain point. Otherwise, the whole thing is going to crash and everyone's going to die. It's a weird setup. It's a weird premise, but whatever. I can dig it. And Batman and Joker, perhaps understandably, have very different ideas of how to get the weight of the train down. And yeah, I was pretty hyped when issue 1 came out. I really enjoyed that, and then issues 2 and 3 were somewhat disappointing. But this is solid. I will probably not get the collection once that comes out, but I will at least enjoy the single issues for as long as this continues. I think it was just last issue where I started this video talking about a conversation that was happening at the comic shop and how Batman was one of the best books DC was putting out. And I think that was true for Failsafe. I don't think it's as true for this current arc where he's stuck on another world. We do open on these two, which is great. Sort of a reflection of the deceased storyline that's also happening. But on this world, there is no Batman. The cops are hopped up on Venom, and a bunch of people get sent off to Arkham, even though they probably don't deserve it. So it's not good. It's not a good world that he has landed himself into. And we get some... Oh, I didn't notice the rope belt. The whip belt? I didn't notice that when I was reading through this the first time. So their version of Bruce Wayne is actually dead, and people are starting to notice that he should be dead. And, yeah, he's a Batman without resources, which is usually a fun story. This sequence doesn't make any sense to me. Right, so we get this face-off. He's running away and somehow gets punched in the solar plexus from the front. I don't know how that was supposed to have happened unless he moves extremely fast, which I don't think has been a staple of Killer Croc in the past. Anyway, this is equally stupid. So he winds up outside of a building, and then he says, "I've fallen from the moon. I can survive this." No, you effing can't. Get out of here. Get out. So anyway, Ghost Gordon is still fantastic, but I don't think this arc is as good as Failsafe, and I really want this Otherworld story to end. What's weird too, so the backup story is still focusing on Robin, and I had read that Toyman was dead. I don't remember if that was in the previous backup for 131, or if that happened, or if I just read it somewhere. Like, they reference John Superman, which I'd stopped reading, so I don't know if it had happened in one of the issues that I didn't read. But anyway, they're talking about Toyman being dead, and Robin is trying to get to where Bruce is on another world, and they talk a bit here about the gun that Failsafe used and like sensing multiversal energy. I'm like, what the hell is this? But you can see he's asking for some help, and it's super weird. Anyway, I think the Failsafe arc was incredibly well written, and this is less so. I'm not enjoying this. I just want it to be over. Poison Ivy, issue 9, and thankfully we get the good artist back. So Takara is drawing this one, and Harley shows up, as seen here. And this is just a really fun one and done. Getting them back together. Them going out on the town. It's pretty great. Now by the end of this, it's sort of the status quo has changed again. I don't know what that means. I haven't read, or I tend to avoid reading the solicitations for issues that I'm getting, so I haven't read 10 or 11 yet. I don't know what's coming for Poison Ivy. I did read that this just expanded from, it was originally 6 issues, it expanded then to 12, and now it's an ongoing, so I don't know. As long as Takara is drawing, as long as she's on art, Mauricio? I'm assuming it's a woman, but I could easily be wrong. As long as Takara is on art, I'm in. She's a phenomenal artist. Again, I said I should really figure out, but fantastic artist. And I didn't like the fill-in artist that they got. If Takara is on art, I'm in. Not quite lastly, but the last single issue I got is Gotham City Year 1, Issue 5. I thought I was confused last issue, whether it was a 5-issue or 6-issue miniseries. I expected certain things to happen this issue, and I got some of it. What surprised me the most is there's an explanation for about half of the mystery, and it was put out by DC as preview pages, so you could get a big chunk of this story just by reading the free preview pages that Marvel, oh my god, maybe I'm more sick than I thought. The preview pages that DC put out days before the issue went on the stands, you could get a chunk of the story of the mystery resolved. Anyway, there are still 2 things I expect to happen. This is kind of a bombshell issue. Things definitely happen. And there's still a confrontation that needs to happen. There is, I think, still a confession that needs to happen. And I'm all in. There's a particularly good page in here. I really love this page here. I'm a longtime fan of Phil Hester, but man, I hope he gets some increased attention because of this series. It's really quite good. Lastly, I got the British Paranormal Society hardcover. This just came out. I've already shot the video for this. It will probably be a few weeks before this goes up because I've already got some stuff uploaded and scheduled, so it's probably going to seem like I'm sick either more often or for longer than I really am. But I've already shot this. So that is everything that I got this week. As far as pick of the week goes, I think it's kind of a toss-up between Gotham City and Little Monsters. Both are excellent. The annoying thing is King is still just name-dropping past Batman creators as Streets, which was annoying before, and he's continuing to do it. And Little Monsters, the amount of story, backstory specifically, that we get here is just excellent. I'm a big fan of this. So that is everything that I got this week. As always, I get all of my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.